What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have been talking a lot about the SM2 situation, the XLab situation, and also, we've been discussing a little bit about plutonium as well. Thankfully, yes, it is still live and in action. So, of course, if you want to play stuff like Black Ops 1, World at War, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, make sure you go ahead and check out plutonium. They're making it so you have to own the game now. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will keep them here for pretty much forever. We can only hope for such a good thing to happen. But I have to put one more video together about this topic because, again, it's been a lot of clashing in the community about whether, we should accept something like this because obviously Activision does have rights for the overall, use of taking down all of these sites. But at the same time, it's a lot of people who are defending it, including myself, saying it's just not right for them to do it. Yeah, we acknowledge that they can go ahead and do it, but should they? No, it doesn't seem fair or good for the overall community. And like I said, I saw a post that I think is going to really put it perfectly for everybody in the community on why this was an extraordinarily scummy move for Activision to go ahead and do. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and hop into the topic of today's video, if you do enjoy what you hear and you want to hear more stuff about Call of Duty, Battlefield, X-Defiant, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button. And also, if you want to go ahead and catch me live stream as well, we will be live today over on Twitch. Make sure you guys tune into this one because it's going to be awesome. Finally, Battlefield 2042 is going to be giving us a little sneak peek of some gameplay footage of the brand new map, some updates that are coming into the game the next season, so it's going to be amazing. And of course, if you guys want to hear my personal opinions before I make a video for tomorrow about this, like I said, tune into my Twitch stream. The link to everything is down in the description of this video. But ladies and gentlemen, over on Twitter, Robert Bowling has been putting his 2 cents in on the overall conversation here. And I got to be honest, as usual, he's spitting nothing but facts. This man, it's been a lot of stuff going on with COD, and every single time something goes on, he's one of the very few developers that really speaks out and speaks his mind openly. I don't know if it's because, obviously he has a position that might be a little bit more lenient. If you don't know, he's working on Dr. Disrespect's game. Was it Dead Drop or something of that sort? So, knowing how that is, he's probably has some more freedom than, compared to working with Activision or EA, something like that, where they're going to have their thumb pressed down on him so he can't speak his mind. Regardless, whatever the situation is, I always appreciate him doing what he does. But as you can see right here, it's a lot of stuff, so I'm going to read through it all before I actually discuss stuff and, break it down bit by bit. But the first bit says, I would not be a game developer if I didn't start by modding my favorite games. Counter-Strike wouldn't exist if it wasn't for modding. PUBG would never exist if it wasn't for modding. You never know what can happen when you allow your most dedicated fans to be creative. Then he goes on to say, there is a divide happening in the game industry right now. Those who see the value in empowering your community to take your game, mod it, augment it, rebuild it, create something new out of it, and those who cease and desist. Going on after that with a little extra saying, there's always a time when the lawyers come knocking and suggest you crush some community's initiative that is getting too close to copyright infringement. And it's easy to pull that trigger. You can pay lawyers to crush or invest in the community to empower them legally. We are investing early and consistently in building Dead Drop in a way that is not only expected, but empowering the community to mod it, expand it, take it, and run with it far beyond our dev team's involvement with it post-launch. Original creators do not need a death grip. Now, I do want to start off and say that's fantastic news. Honestly, I don't know if Dead Drop is going to be a game that I'll personally play a lot. I'm more of an arcade shooter type of guy. COD, I like my Battlefield. X-Defiant's a really fun one that I'm really excited about. I do play extraction shooters, mostly Tarkov, but I don't even play that much Tarkov anymore to even begin with. It's been almost a year since I touched that game. I'm rough. Like I said, I like my arcade shooters, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, regardless of whatever the heck the game is, at the end of the day, it is fantastic to hear that you are going to be open to allowing the community to add whatever they please. Obviously not to the original game, but they're going to be able to mod it. They're going to be able to do what they want to it, expand upon it and make their own creations, allowing them to be creative and, do what they do best. Do what modders do best. Create and potentially even get into the workforce to begin with. You see, a lot of people that got their jobs started off with mods. I mean, wasn't it back in Black Ops 3? Isn't the reason that Activision allowed, people to actually mod up stuff in the Zombies experience was to actually get developers? So they allowed people to come in, put in their work, Whoever I guess made the best work might actually get a job opportunity. You see, things like that is why modding is fantastic. It can start careers. It can allow people who might not even, have time, money, resources, whatever it is to even go and, branch out and try to get that type of education for that field. It gives you quick access. And even the thought of it's hard. Game development is hard to get into, right? It's not an easy job, and honestly, a lot of the time it requires you to do a lot of moving. So, it's hard to plan, it's hard to prep. And to be able to even get that chance ahead of time through just modding is such it's a head start. It gives you such a jump compared to other people, and it really does allow people with less resources to get a head start. It's fantastic. And also, like I said, on top of that, it just allows people to help with the games, improve upon the games, just expand on the livelihood of the games. A lot of games till this current date stay alive because of the fact that the community is modding it. I'm going to use this example because that's what this video is all about. X Labs, Plutonium, all these modded clients are there to help the community. With all honesty, Activision should be prioritizing the pirating websites. That's what they should be prioritizing, not the modded clients that don't add, what are they getting from this? What are they doing to the game? All they're doing is allowing for, server browsers were in some of these games back in the day. But, stuff like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, 2 and all this stuff. Actually, did Black Ops 2, I think, no, I don't think Black Ops 2 had a server browser. A lot of these games don't have it, and they allow you to get in with a server browser, allow you to open up your own lobbies and stuff of that sort, and it allows you to have a hacker, cheater-free experience. And even though they're in the game, they get out so quickly because there's moderators constantly hopping in and out of matches all the time. I see it 24/7. Every single time I see a cheater, usually within the next game or two, they're out. I guess it depends on the server that you play in, but I never had a problem. Still to this day, I never have a problem. I love playing OG CODs. I play them all the time over on stream. Once again, if you guys want to check that out, links to all my streams down in the description of this video. Live proof that we never run into cheaters or hackers. I don't see why they're focusing them instead of focusing the pirating websites. I guess because it's more work to take down all those pirating websites instead of just taking down, the launcher that is getting people to go ahead and, pirate it in the first place. But it's so pointless. Once again, they're putting their thumb down on the community and taking away our creativity, taking away our passion as a community in general. And the first point is probably the most crucial point out of all of the stuff that I've been talking about here, which I think is just, once again, genius. I'm so glad Robert Bowling has been just, once again, preaching his mind because I find it all very fascinating. And I love hearing develop because, these guys, they gone to college, they put in the work, they know the actual scene, they know game development, unlike us who, we're peeking in on the outside. We're fans of games. We love gaming, but, when it comes down to coding and, all this other stuff, we don't know. So it's always great to see developers come out and speak this way because, they have experience. It's not just, a fan talking his mind. No, this is an experienced dev speaking his mind on the overall situation. I love it. But like I said, I'm going to flash it up one more time because it's very, very big. I would not be a game developer if I didn't start modding my favorite games. Counter-Strike wouldn't exist if it wasn't for modding. PUBG would never exist if it wasn't for modding. You never know what can happen when you allow your most dedicated fans to be creative. Again, like I said, even the man himself, Robert Bowling, would not be in the position that he's in without modding. Being able to mod his favorite games, create stuff, and show the passion that he has for the scene in general. But further on, games like Counter-Strike, one of the most popular games known to mankind. There's no way it could be argued. There really is no way it could be argued. It is probably the most popular, just most well-known FPS game ever produced. It rarely ever needs to be upgraded. It rarely ever needs, any crazy work besides, obviously, the obvious, maintenance that they have to go through. But it's not like COD where they're milking a game. No, it's a game that they just keep there, and it stays popular for the whole lifespan of its existence. And it is, a mod. It's a mod, and here we are, current date, making bank off of it. PUBG, my favorite battle royale experience, the battle royale experience that I got into BR, because I don't care for BR now. I swear, I say it all the time, but I think that I just went too hard with PUBG. I played way too much of that game because that, I blame that for me not wanting to play anything like Warzone or anything, because I was just going to town and PUBG. That game was so much fun. But that is problem. That game pretty much practically popped off the BR genre. We can argue H1Z1 did a lot of work, which it did, but PUBG, that was the biggest name. I mean, even Call of Duty streamers were going out and, taking their time to play PUBG as well. It really got the name out there for battle royales. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's a big deal. And that, once again, came from modding. It's wild to think that such outstanding creations can come from something as simple as just modding a game. Again, I get that Activision doesn't want any competition, but it's a difference from completely taking like SM2. Again, I'm really sad about it. I really am. But again, that they were basically making their own game out of Call of Duty tools. But X Labs and potentially Plutonium, it's devastating because what's the problem? It's just giving power to the creator. Same thing with SM2 though. It's like it hurts because I loved SM2. I loved the concept. I loved the idea. But it really was, they were basically making an everything COD game. So I can see where Activision could feel a bit threatened because, you never know what they have up their sleeve. That's probably their last call. When Call of Duty hits the fan and it's finally over, they're probably going to do exactly that, an SM2 style game. I guarantee. I'm willing to put money on it. And that's why they didn't want the concept out there in the first place. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters what project it is. I don't think Activision should be feeling intimidated and, taking such massive power plays against all of these modders or mod tools, just all of this fun stuff that helps the community enjoy these titles still. There's absolutely no purpose in doing so, especially when it's such a massive company like Activision, where they bring in so much money. Their titles are so huge and massive. I mean, literally, the player counts on these mods are nowhere close to what they have right now in their modern COD games, even Modern Warfare 2 2022. And even though those numbers are dropping more and more and more, and it's sad to see that new COD games can't live up to what they used to be back in their primes anymore when it comes to player counts. At the end of the day, it's still nothing. What these player counts are for X Labs, Plutonium, probably even SM2, it would be nothing, to even compare over to a modern COD game for Activision. The only thing I can see is if they're pirating the game to go ahead and play these mods, but that's a simple little letter saying, hey, it's a lot of people pirating our games, we're losing out on money, you can keep it up, but you have to make sure that, only people who have an official copy can get into the title. Bam! Done! It's over. Absolutely over. Activision keeps making checks, and the community can have fun with classic COD games still. Like seriously, taking such a power move like they did, just it wasn't needed whatsoever. It really wasn't. And it's sad because mods and all of this stuff, it could spot so much potential out there. Potential in people, actual individuals who love modding that could really put out good products. They're out there and they're being held back because Activision just simply doesn't. Who knows? Who knows what they don't want to do? Because at the end of the day, people are still going to pirate the game. I've heard personally that if you pirate the game, I purchased it. So I usually go to key websites, and I suggest you guys do so as well, because don't cough up $60 in the Steam store. Screw Activision in every possible way. Just go to a key website. I used it, G2A, personally. This isn't a sponsored video, obviously. I don't know. I've heard some people say it doesn't work for them, but I've never had an issue personally. You can always get, the old school titles for a much better price than what Activision sells their titles for, unless you want to wait for a Steam sale, because that's another good way of finding, a good price for these games. But again, as I was saying, if you pirate the game, I've heard that you can't even play the multiplayer. So the only way you can use multiplayer with a pirated copy is through these specific mods here, So it's not going to do anything for them. Nobody's buying the game off Steam because they know it's a hacked piece of garbage. People only play the old school classic CODs on PC when it comes to a modded client. Because people understand the risk factor that comes into play when you play a classic Call of Duty game, because Activision refuses to upgrade anything on their end. They're cheap assholes. It is what it is. But it's not going to solve their issue here because, like I said, people aren't going to buy it there. So, the only point that anybody would want to play these games is for zombies or campaign and, just relive some of the OG moments. So they're still going to pirate it. At the end of the day, they're still going to go ahead and pirate it and just play, the campaign, zombies, and do what they want to do. Because multiplayer is done for. Without these clients, it's done for. And even if they do want to get the game, like I said, there's tons of key websites that are just fantastic to get them for extra cheap. So you're still losing out on money. It's just such an asshole thing to do. Such an asshole thing to do. And it's not going to benefit them in the way that they think it will. It's just, like I said, a power play to hold their ego over the community. But ladies and I'm done rambling your guys' ears off. I do apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. And by all means, if you hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat me, this Twitter do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.